Yo, welcome back to some more Mandela Catalog. We got a couple of videos for Mandela Catalog. This seems to be his newest upload, I believe. Cog Cognitohazard is the title of this one. And without further ado, let's watch.
Bro, what?
Activity for young ones in the area. Wisconsinites? Is that what they're called? Wisconsinites? That can't be. Nah.
Hi, welcome to Babel. I'm not super familiar what's going on here, but I remember my mom as a kid.
What's work workshop, I think. Bro, are you outside? What is that noise?
Dang, that looks like baller, a baller joint.
Me. Bro, roll up your window, cuz. But okay, I don't like this audio. I might just mute the whole video, bro.
Not chill. What's talking about? I'm tired of hearing wind. Aaron,
Why do I have a frame where it's like just two people talking in a group chat?
I'd hate to talk in a chat like this.
Shut up. I can't think with that noise. Mm, Found dead at church. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I had to, bro.
What is up with these analog chords and these bad choices of audio?
I don't know. I, oh my god. This has been on for the whole video. So, so is Bird watching the thing? The alternate here? Or a bird lover?
Because it's looking for kids.
No, no, no. I don't. Because it's just these two, so one of them has to be an alternate, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. Everything go window shopping or houses.
I wonder why. I wonder why how the lake houses are getting cheap. But how would you know that it's an alternate?
I,
The alternates only are shown through physical and audio. Audio.
I mean, I don't know, cause the title says Cognitohazard. Why you say okay this many times in one sentence? You know it's going to be okay to be okay. It's okay, you know it's okay. It's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, that's starting to sound like an alternate now.
I don't know what's going on if you're just mocking me.
Oh, did it like
Oh,
intellectual? Yeah, that's alternate. You were right. Good God.
what?
You just
Dennis and Tracy
is
Cable.
with is with deep sadness that we announced the passing of the end ounce the passing the announced he
How do you,
announced the passing of D. A memorial service will be held in Alberio were both reported missing February 21st, 2009. Went to see their granddaughter one last time.
how do you do this in text
But
form?
it's
But,
how do you be a member for a year? Oh wait, how do you be a member for 3 years?
mm,
If this is an alternate, then
s-
somebody got
unle-
replaced with an alternate.
yeah,
But the alternate would have to know the information. Thing.
that is unless I don't know. They just had the thing open. Their window.
Wait, this alternate is way too smart. I thought alternates were supposed to be nonsensical.
Unless there's a chapter we missed somehow that makes them somehow really good, quote unquote, with technology.
Because they are releasing, like she's saying, they're releasing personal information about her. How would an alternate know that?
Yeah, that's weird. Still got that stupid audio. No
How is there
moderate.
no moderators? It's like Twitter with no. It's like having Reddit with no mods. How is that even possible?
They're still looking for you. No, this is weird.
So they don't even know the person that they're talking to. So they have no personal connection to that
Right,
alternate.
right, but they somehow know a lot about them.
Some brand still time brand new waiting for you outside for your house looking for you. That's what I'm guessing.
Still, still time brand new and waiting. And is he saying that he's outside looking for them? Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, outside her house.
That's gonna work. Stop. Oh,
What?
there's a something.
Holy crap! That's an essay.
Bro, he's still
What is
going.
happening?
Bro
Dude,
got
there's no way that this is an alternate. There's no way.
it's still going.
Dude, I didn't know what.
I don't want to know what that
So
is.
we doxing now?
I guess so.
It's unleashing the entire dictionary.
What,
No, you can't just end it there. Come on.
bro? There's no way. What? I gotta read a
Nah,
comment.
I need a continuation.
This alternate has discovered cyberbullying. Don't talk too much. You reveal your fears. She she kept talking to this person and revealed a weakness in which the alternate then exploited.
Oh well, yeah. But how would it know that much? Unless they talked for years.
Addison, stop. Alternate behind the computer cracks fingers. As an
All
actual
right,
parallel
time.
with the alternate PFP being a northern mockingbird, a bird that mimics other birds' calls, the way an alternate mimics human speech is driving me crazy. How I didn't catch onto that earlier, I don't even know. But fire episode as always. Okay, I understand what the alternate is in this video. Pulling an SCP on. Awareness syndrome or mass through digital technology. That's a terrifying thought. I'm not going to allow expecting Addison to also be an alternate, making conversation between two alternatives who are trying to induce mad. It's like that Omega meme with the two fake e-girls. What? Okay.
What are you yapping?
Okay. And, cause, well, it's just I don't really much about people that everyday business go background more than you think. So,
They got replaced.
yeah, it had to have been like mid conversation. Cause look, they're typing normally, right? And then no,
Try to go to when the talking turns formal.
yeah, yeah. I want to. Okay, so in the beginning, he doesn't use the bird lover doesn't use capitals. Okay, I wish I had peeped that
Yeah, when it
earlier.
becomes proper English. That's what I was saying.
Why is that question mark? Yeah, not capitalized. There it is, right here.
So Sunday 11. When did the conversation start?
April 8th.
Dang, so this all happened in a couple of days.
So if we go back, heck, I forgot about that audio. For they weirdly reported miss. So right here, boom, right? Why is that? That improper grammar, no capitalization, and yada yada yada. And then as they were typing, or this person was typing, then boom.
Wait, hold up. Well, why didn't we peep that earlier?
I,
She talks about her parents going, her grandparents going missing. He says, "You know it's okay, right?" What?
yeah, that.
Like
If,
that is not something that you want to say to somebody.
right, just just two, just this right here. it's so subtle that I didn't even you won't notice it the first time. But, uh,
Yeah, so why I brought up that, like brought up like, oh wait, look for the switch in dialogue, is because I know, like, we talk very casually in text. So
right.
something that's trying to mimic us or beat us would use very proper English or very non-connective English. It
Yeah.
would either be gibber jabberish or it will be super formal.
It,
But
it's either yeah, it's either like they know English or it's like somebody trying to learn English and it's just broke and it's just all broken. Like someone with like a thick foreign accent trying to speak English and it just comes out as I only God knows what.
but but why did they resort to saying okay, okay, okay?
I think that was other than the capitalization, I think that was supposed to be another hint to where it's like, oh, the alternates they repeat the same phrases.
Because that's all they know.
Right. You know it's okay, right? You know it'll be okay, right? Okay. Yes, thank you for your care. And just like this girl here, she didn't notice the subtle change. Let's change topics.
First
So,
of all, look, I'm gonna be honest. If I was talking to somebody and they started talking fragmented and not immediately correct it, because I know nowadays I can like mess up on my keyboard or something, and I'd immediately try to go back and correct it if I picked it up, like if I saw
yeah.
it myself. But she didn't even like, she didn't even question like, oh,
What
yeah, I
what
guess the keyboard must be on the fritz.
why they keep saying it's going to be okay?
No, my parents, my grandparents have been reported missing. So
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Hey, and then just and then it goes to
what happened?
di-
That she must have hit a nerve.
but how would it gather her information and all that so quickly though?
Dude, they have only been talking for a span of like a week. I want to be generous and say like they've been only talking for about a week.
Not even. Well, 9, 10, 11, 3 days.
Yeah, so there's no way that you can share that much information in 3 days.
Right. So, cause it starts off by repeating itself as the alternates do, and then a news article, and then just
Oh,
full.
it mocked the article. It repeated the news article.
Yeah. And then somehow there's no mods at. Well, okay, it's 11:47 p.m. But at least one person would be on as a mod at least, but I don't know. And then they're still looking for you. That's creepy.
And then he name dropped without knowing her name.
Right.
It's like she was
Ele-
like, "How do you know my name?"
yeah. And then it's just going full on like doxing her, or I don't know what this says. And then it's just full on like life story right here, just life story. Like, bro, what?
I wish I could see all that.
Yeah. Oh, at least like some parts, but well then this video would be like an hour long if we did try to read the whole thing. If it was unblurred.
Hey man, he practically wrote it out right here.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to let me see.
And then it just ends. Like the way this ends, this right here, it looks like it's mirrored as well. A little almost.
Oh yeah. kind of see what you're getting at.
It almost looks mirror you're opening a book. Cause look,
But it looks like the same text because they're all equal length.
right. That's oh my god, that's freaky, bro. 3 days is not enough
I
to
didn't
know
know. I didn't know
what.
alternates were socially inclined.
Right. And where did they even learn that ability? That's my. Let's keep man. We spent way too much time on this 7 minute video.
Dude, it's a it's an analog core reaction, man.
I
What you
know.
expect?
Bro got merch now. All right.
One
Still waiting
director's
on that
commentary
Backrooms
video. I
movie.
have some new
So,
merch.
yeah.
Mandela Catalog, classic. Get all the ladies or men. Yep, pretty cool stuff. Big flex. In the description. Go buy. Hi, I'm Alex Kister. I'm the creator of the Mandela Catalog, and this is a continuation of my director's commentary series that I started with Overthrown, which was the first video in the series. If you haven't checked that out, highly recommend that. If you kind of want a whole backstory on how the series kind of started out, this is the next step forward, which is for Volume 1, which is the one that, it's the Mandela Catalog video, the one with like million, bazillion, jillion views. For some reason, that one decided to get the most. Um, and if you're not a avid follower of mine, you won't know that there's actually some interesting backstory behind this video because there's a it's kind of weird how it came to be. So I did
Do
decide to
tell.
continue the series after Overthrown with a video that was basically like the most typical analog horror video ever, which was the Think Principle. And yes, this was its own video at one point, and I know that's weird, but just hear me out. It all makes sense in the end. So, using the inspiration that I got from Local 58, that was basically the main one. Um, I wanted to make the Think Principle, which was basically kind of like
Oh,
throwing you into the world of this universe that I was building up, coming off of
well, you gotta
Overthrown,
watch that.
and thought it was kind of interesting to kind of play off of like, yeah, like these things were introduced in that first video, but now it seems to be in more of a modern time period, which I thought was kind of fun and interesting to kind of have this drastic time change. So what I did is I was still working on my iPhone, so I made this video using screenshots from Canva, if you're familiar with that. Basically like the poor man's Photoshop for iPhone, at least in 2021, from what I knew. And I actually made this video. Half the majority of this video was made on an airplane as I was going on vacation to Myrtle Beach, and the famous image that was in that video towards the end, which wasn't included in the final volume 1, which I'll show on screen right now,
Oh,
was actually taken in my hotel room, because it was kind of a weird hotel room.
What?
It was like a suite, and then there's like an extra bedroom. But
this this is a hotel room? What the?
That look like a house
Oh me.
or like a college dorm.
whatever. Obviously, that alternate was not in there. I drew that on Snapchat, believe it or not, the drawing feature, and then added the little eyes as stickers, and then features back over it, and it
Wow.
looks good as new. And I guess there's not really much to talk about with this little segment, because you already know it. Everyone knows what it is. It's like it's analog. It's 2021 style analog horror, right? Um, and something that I wish I did differently, which I tried to do a little bit better with the restored version of Volume 1, was I deeply dislike how on the nose it was. Just blatantly telling you what alternates are and stuff. I feel like that really takes away a lot of the mystique and horror from the atmosphere that I was trying to build with that. Most notably, the whole text saying KYS thing, which I can't specify because I actually want this video to be monetized. But if you know, you know. Um, Probably my biggest mistake creatively in my entire career on YouTube so far. One, because I missed out a lot of money because that demonetized um, that video. Also, it was just the cringiest thing I ever could have done. I know there's a lot of people who are avid defenders of Volume 1 and specifically this segment, but um, as I've grown as a horror creator, I held a lot of resentment over this video and this segment in particular because I nowadays believe in subtlety, which is something that I just didn't really have a grasp of at the time because I was 17 when I made this, and I was pretty new to the horror scene. I'm 21 now, um, and I know
Dang,
that
he's
sounds like,
practically
oh
our
wow,
age.
you've really grown a lot. You're like a child still. It's like, yeah, but I feel like I've grown a lot over the past couple of years. I won't go off on that tangent right now. Maybe I'll save that for later. But so yeah, so from what I remember, if you watched the previous episode of this commentary, um, I believe I also submitted this on that Reddit um, for analog horror, and it did extremely well at the time because that's what people liked back then. And I think it was good for what it was, but it was like whatever. But I did want to continue this, and I did with a video called Encounter A, which is um, the Mark and Caesar story. And the way that this came about was it's so funny. I remember this so vividly. I was on my couch. Sorry, what? My bed in my bedroom. I don't have a couch in my bedroom. I was on my bed in my bedroom. I was sitting on it with my little laptop, with my school laptop actually. And I hit up my friend. I was like, hey, I'm making like a little horror video. Do you want to like voice act this with me, and we could just get over a Discord call and just talk this out? So we did. I had this little script that I wrote on my iPhone Notes app, which I actually still do sometimes, and we ran through it a couple times. I absolutely had zero ear for voice acting, so I thought that this was perfectly fine at the time, and it's like I guess it was fine. I mean, it's not like the worst thing ever, but it is pretty poor. But this was just a little passion project at the time. I had like 30 subscribers or something at the time. And it was like whatever.
Makes sense.
And this whole phone call section, which is arguably, at least from my perspective, I think that's the most popular part ever of the series. Either that or the Thing Principle. But a lot of people, a lot of Mandela Catalog fans, I always get questions about like, where's Mark and Caesar? Like, we want them back so bad. And it's so interesting to me that people feel so strongly about these characters because it's like they gave nothing, at least from my perspective. They were just kind of catalysts to tell the rest of the story. Um, but it's just one of those things. But anyways, the thing that I liked more about this video was the whole security camera part, which I was very passionate about. As someone that has enjoyed found footage movies growing up, particularly like Paranormal Activity and stuff, I got a lot of inspiration from Paranormal Activity 3 for this section of these camera angles at my house at the time. And I thought that this is actually my best moment from this era of my um, video making career. Um, I thought it was really fun to have these little moments where like you get a little hint as these cameras are doing this continuous cycle, and you get little hints of something happening every time, and it kind of like leaves you waiting to come back to that camera. It's like, oh geez, is that person still there? Like there's a little bit of context dropped every single second, which I thought was like a fun thing. And there were very few parts of this where I made different changes to this video late in later editions, but the ending of this segment was a little bit different than the one that people know now, where it was just kind of this fade in of Caesar's face, just like elongated and weird. I was trying really hard to make this thing look spooky, and it was really corny. And his eyes fade in a little bit, and then it just says like recording end, and then that was it. It's like, okay, I mean, like it's fine, I guess, but it's I don't know. I actually I remember like a lot of people saying like, because I used to have this video public, and I remember a lot of people used to say like, oh, that was actually pretty scary, dude. I think it's scarier than the later version. I was like, well, I guess whatever. But as you know, this actually it was pretty similar to what happened in the Volume 1, where it just kind of the presentation was a little bit more interesting, and that ended up being a really popular segment of that video too, which one of those good early moments, I guess. Now, the next video that came after that, the next little clip was called Mark's Soliloquy, which was in the context of Volume 1. It was the whole part where he's in his room and, he has like the nobody's coming to save me or whatever. And I
Okay.
actually cannot watch this clip because it actually got removed from YouTube, which I didn't even know until now. I'm in YouTube Studio. Um, I don't really know why. I think it could be because there was the like really piss poor image that I made again with the Snapchat drawing tool of my corpse, of Mark's corpse after he does the deed. Um, and there was a little section towards the beginning of this video where my good friend Faith, I know you're watching this, um, recorded this little clip that was supposed to be of one of Mark's friends kind of calling in, asking like where he is and stuff. And I really, really like this part a lot. And I forgot, it was either because I genuinely just forgot to add this into Volume 1 for some reason, which doesn't really make any sense because I typically would just port videos into it, or I think it also was because it didn't really make any sense as found footage because at the time, obviously I do more live action stuff now with the series, but at the time I was like, okay, this needs to be found footage. It all needs to be coming from a camera. But this little section was when this phone call was happening. It was it was just like a still image of Mark's window, and then the light was coming, like illuminating it, supposedly being like the phone machine was lighting up for this voicemail or something. It's like I don't know. This that iconic clip of Mark's recording inside of his room towards his door because Caesar's there, saying like there's someone outside my door, whatever. Um, that was actually recorded on um, inside of my dorm room, which I'm surprised it came across looking realistic enough. I thought people were just gonna know what that was, but I was there for a very short time because it was just a short little summer camp thing that I was at,
Summer camp.
and it was weird because later on in the series' life, I kind of had to retcon that because I didn't have access to that room anymore. Um, so my actual house bedroom ended up being Mark's room later. And funny thing about
Ugh.
when Mark says "you fucking bastard," his big line, um, that was like I'm me as a person, I don't yell I don't yell at all. Like anyone who knows me knows this. Like decently soft spoken, so I don't that was the last time that I ever actually yelled like that. Um Ever, which was 2021, which is kind of funny. And it's 2025 now. That's the last time that I've ever yelled that much. And it was when I was driving in my car at night to my dorm, and I was like thinking, okay, I gotta like record this little clip of me yelling, and I remember doing it in my car, and I was like that was kind of cringy, and I don't like hearing myself do weird, crazy things like that. And then what happens next, the gunshot, and then the gradual footsteps coming up, and then that image that I just plucked off of Google Images, looking up like creepy criminal composite sketch face things, um, which he's just in frame for like 15 seconds with the breathing, and I actually like the ideology of this scare, quote unquote. Um, it's something that I still stand by nowadays, but I feel like that was just the most blatant showing of it without anything else. And I think it was fine. I just really wish that it was original and not like just a picture that I got from somewhere else. But, to
Yeah,
get
that
my point
makes
across, it was
sense.
fine at the time. Again, you have to like I obviously feel this way now, but at the time it's like I didn't really know any better because I had like nobody really knew what the series was at the time compared to now. So after that segment came, uh, in this before I made Volume One, obviously this next segment was called Emergency Call Operator Training, which sounds like if you asked ChatGPT to make a title for an analog horror video, it would be that. But this is easily my least favorite part of this entire thing, this video, because it was just text on screen, stock video. Um, it's followed the analog horror formula, which was normal thing, scary thing, and then Um, but again, at the time, it's like that was serviceable. I don't really have much to say about this one. I think the way that I went about it with the restored version was much better. Um, I remember this easily. I think this took me like a day to make in my dorm room. Um, so yeah, there's that. Nothing much to say about that one. And then came the last segment of this suite of videos per se. Um, was the toddler stress assessment video, which this segment when I uploaded it on its own was the title was just called Trauma. And this one was probably one of my favorites. I think it was my favorite at the time. And it's so weird because I'm on YouTube Studio right now and I'm seeing how often I was uploading these. I was uploading these like 10 days apart, which is so crazy now because now it's like it takes me like a year to make a volume and stuff like that. But, it was easy at the time. I was doing this on my phone. But uh I don't really have much to say about this except for the one notable part, which
Honestly, people
is,
for the
the
people who
intruder.
can like edit
And
stuff on their phones, I gotta give props to them. Like honestly,
Hey, everything gotta start from somewhere.
on me.
this is the first time that I used some of my childhood fear influences into one of my videos because I have a video on my second channel where I talk about this VHS tape that used to terrify me when I was like 3 and 4, where it was like a baby sensory video, kind of like the 90s version of like Coco Melon, where
Oh
it was
God.
called Baby Einstein, and it was basically like all these like baby toys being played with, but they had a lot of puppets too, and there's this one part where this green dragon puppet would come on screen. It was just this void black background. He would waddle on screen, you would look around a little bit, and then he would do this jump scare at you. I know it's not actually a jump scare, but it felt like it at the time. Um, with his tongue out, his mouth opens. He was like FNAF, bro. That was scary as like a little
Rustic.
a little child. And when you're a kid at that age, you don't know what the hell just happened. It's like, especially if you were like me
Grade
and got scared
4,000.
by it and was frightened, and I had nightmares and nightmares about this for years and years and years after that. And the reason why that impacted me so much is because when I look back at that, I think, okay, what made that video so weird to me as a kid? And this is what it was. It was this video that was obviously geared towards children, which, the toddler stress assessment is made for kids. Kids are supposed to be watching that in universe. And then all of a sudden, for no reason, with a plain like solid color background with no context whatsoever, there's just this thing that appears on screen. And that was the intruder. And that kind of mirrored how I felt about that puppet thing. Because it's like, why? Why is that there? That's what creeped me out so much. And I wanted to kind of play that in a video, just kind of hoping that, like I was hoping that there was some people who kind of would feel the same way. And it seemed like it did because that ended up being, like the other famous part. So I uploaded that last segment on July 30th of 2021, which meant that about a week later I was going to be at marching band camp at college. That was going to be my first year of college, and I was actually going to be majoring in percussion performance because I thought that that's what my life was going to be at the time because I was a band kid in high school and I was really passionate about that. Um, so what I did was I figured I would take all these little videos that I made over the summer, which was um, Think Principle, Encounter A, Mark Soliloquy, Emergency Call Operator Training, and Trauma into one cohesive package um, that I just uploaded as the Mandela Catalogue Vol.1. And then that was just gonna be it. I figured, like this is fine. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Um, the reason why I didn't include Overthrown was because I felt like I was just gonna leave Overthrown as its own thing because it felt so different than the rest of Volume One. I felt like Volume One, like it was all the same aesthetic and stuff of these analog horror tapes in the '90s and stuff. Overthrown was a little more abstract. And then while I was on the tail end of my time in college, which was very short lived because I found out very quickly that it was not for me and I wanted to pursue this instead, was there was this moment where since I was a music major, we were doing a lot of little concerts in the concert hall, and I remember as I was getting ready and we were just waiting in the percussion room, waiting to go on stage. I was just on my phone scrolling through Twitter, and I saw a video from Wendigoon's girlfriend Kayla, um, showing him watching. They were watching The Think Principle on like a TV or something. I was like, whoa, whoa! I was like freaking out. I was like, because I've been watching Wendigoon for a couple months, like for the last couple months of my senior year of high school, through summer. Like that was insane. And I remember like showing like my other like friends in the in their room with me, even though they didn't like. I wasn't even that close with them either. I was just like so excited. I was like, guys, like these people, like they're watching my video,
Yo, look at
and
this.
that was just such a fun moment for me. And then that ended up really doing a lot too, because then soon after that I got hit up by Mr. Wendigoon himself, um, on I think it was Twitter, and he ended up making a video about it, and then that was crazy. And I remember my mom coming over on the weekends to visit me in my dorm, and she would get Culver's. We would eat in my dorm, and then we would watch. I would on my TV in my dorm. I would pull up Wendigoon's video about it. It was so fun. It was so humbling to see something like that. That was so huge for me. And then of course that like sent the series into the stratosphere, volume 1, because like even though the think principle is what people saw the most, um, volume 1 is the video that got the most attention out of it. It was just getting millions of views. Now it has like 14 million, I think, and that was pretty massive. And something that I'm just realizing now as I'm looking at YouTube Studio is that I forgot to talk about Intruder Alert, which was um, August 17th of 21, which was about 2 weeks after Volume 1 came out. And I don't really, there's not really much to talk about for Intruder Alert. It was kind of a continuation of that toddler stress assessment video, of course, um, which maybe I'll dedicate a video to that. But that Intruder Alert video does kind of fit into this whole thing that I was talking about. It did happen in that span, but that's kind of its own thing, its own beast, because that did do a lot for the lore and stuff. And I remember that was a big talking point for like in the Wendigoon video too. Um, which again, I need to say, I hope he's watching this. I am so eternally grateful that you made those Mandela Catalog videos, because that seriously, like, basically gave me a job with this stuff, and I was able to, like, I will say, like, uh, for a good, ending to this little part of the story, was I was able to leave college because I started a Patreon for Mandela Catalog, and people were actually doing it. I was like, oh, geez, I can like do this sustainably for a little bit, and kind of dedicate myself to this stuff for a while, and that was so enjoyable, and so grateful for that. And I'm just still like, I don't take that for granted. Um, but I won't ramble anymore. I think that's all I'm gonna say for now. That was the story of Volume 1, which was, you know, obviously the most important video of my creative career, even though I am not like the biggest fan of it creatively nowadays. Um, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, like, um, go watch the restored version if you haven't already. It's definitely different, and I try to do some things a little more subtly. It is canon though. I'm not going to be doing restored things for every single early video, because I don't want my channel to just be like, oh, remake, 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 remake. Because when you think about it, I've literally done 3 versions of some of those early parts of the video. That Encounter A thing that
Really?
Mark and Caesar's called, there's 3 versions of that, um, which I don't want to do. Like, I'm, you know, this is, Anyways, again, check out the merch. Um, Pretty cool stuff, and look at the other stuff on there. I got a million other things. I even got some stuff for Mystifying Oracle, for all the 47 Mystifying Oracle fans out there. Shout out to you guys. But yeah, I got a lot of Mandela Catalog stuff on there too. Check it out. I got posters, shirts and
Posters.
posters. Got some stickers, BPS stickers. Pretty awesome. I have one on my laptop right now. Kind of a flex. Um, Good quality stuff. Heavily recommend. Definitely not biased. But yeah. Um, Thanks for watching. This is kind of a long one. I'm approaching on half an hour now. Um, let's see. Next will be, I guess next I'll talk about, maybe next video we'll be talking about Intruder Alert and exhibition, perhaps. Maybe I'll just skip to volume 2. We'll see. Anyways, that'll be all for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. I mean, you don't have to subscribe, honestly, but please like. And you know what? If you don't want to subscribe, you know what you could do? Please buy my merch because um, I got a big project coming, and I need money to stay afloat while I'm doing that. I'll be making a big announcement video about that soon. Very exciting stuff. Um, Bigger than anything I've ever done on this channel before. If you follow me on socials, you probably know what I'm referring to. But if you don't, I'm gonna keep it a secret because you're gonna see a cool announcement video coming for Mandela Catalog stuff. I'm very passionate about something I've been working on for like approaching 3 years now. On the side in the background. But yeah, buy merch, subscribe if you want. I'm at 1 million subscribers somehow. Don't know how I pulled that off. So I don't really need to ask for subs anymore. But do if you want to stay in touch. Turn on notification bell. Like the video. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. Okay, this is going on for way too long. I'm gonna end it here. Okay, bye bye.
Okay.
What a good guy.
Yeah. S- hmm, Honestly, I don't, I ain't got nothing to say about that. He said
I'm
what he
just
needed to say
glad I
and got
was
out of
able
there.
to. Yeah, I'm just glad I was able to hear his thoughts about the whole situation and like the background behind everything.
Yeah, to me, I would like recording more of those of the director videos. I guess it just gives more insight of like why he made the video as it is.
Yeah.
And if you guys also enjoyed the video, well, do what he said. Like, comment. Well, he didn't say comment, but like, subscribe if you want. No, nobody's like forcing you to subscribe and all that, so I don't got nothing else to say.
Be careful.
And
Be
watch out,
safe.
and watch out for alternates. You never know. You might be living with one.
I
Peace.
can't be one. I'm a skeleton.
So true. So true.